Good day everyone, I'm Ola May and welcome to my channel. Today you all, we have a beauty time video. This is an absolute nail day that is past due. I've mentioned it in a couple of videos and the day is finally here. I am not sure how this camera angle is going to work, but hopefully it works out fine because I only get one take to do this. So I have here what items we will need to do this whole process, and I'll talk more about it as I do my nails to explain how I came up with this particular process. But as you see, we do have a clear acrylic powder. Everything that I am using in this video, I am going to also link it on my Amazon storefront as well, so you'll be able to find it there. So this is the clear acrylic powder, so we will be using that. This is a nail drill. We'll be using this as well. Be using that first actually. And then I do have a nail clipper here that's also a cuticle cutter, so we'll be using that. And a base gel nail polish, and this one is by D&D. The top coat will also need that. That's in a separate, that's to the side, so I'll explain why that's to the side a little later. And then this is the nail primer that I use, and it's by a brand called Beetles. And a buffing block is what I call this. I got these from Amazon as well. Off camera, I do have Q-tips, so we will have Q-tips, a cuticle oil of your choice, alcohol, cotton ball or cotton circles, whatever you want to call them, as well as a nail brush. You will also need this. And I also use a plastic spoon, so I know that looks weird right now, but you'll see why I have that a little later in the video. And then I believe last but not least, I call these cuticle Q-tips to make sure that the polish is not on the cuticle before you actually cure it. And then I do have my this is probably not gonna fit in screen. Let's see. I have my my curing light for my gel polish, so we'll be using that as well. And I just saw how tall that was, so I may have to adjust the camera. But let's go ahead and get started, y'all. What I'm gonna do first, and throughout the video, I am gonna do one nail. So this video won't be 2 hours long because it's probably about how long it takes me to do my nails. I'm gonna do one nail to show the process and then pause the camera and then do the other nails off camera. So this is the overlay that I have on my nails. Again, it is 2 months old. Both hands. This one of course looks a little bit rougher because I use this hand the most. So I'm gonna start with this one, and I will take the overlay off. I guess I will start with the I'll start with the middle nail that looks like it has less on it. And I usually like push my cuticles back kind of out of habit. You can of course use an actual cuticle pusher backer. I don't know what it's called, but you could actually use that instead. But I usually use my nails and kind of press my cuticles back. And then of course with the nail drill, that's gonna kind of clean up the cuticle area also. And I don't believe I mentioned also the nail file, so I will put the full list on the screen. Also the nail file is what you'll need as well, but you'll see that, or you have already seen the list of what you'll need. I'll put that on the screen initially. So let's get started, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this nail here and get started. I don't know how loud this is. I guess I'll see once it plays back. And what I'm gonna do is go ahead and take all of the overlay off, or as much as I can. I've thought about, I'm still not sure yet if I want to cut my nails down or not. I usually cut them down pretty short because that way that's the longer I can go without having to do the whole cut down and reshaping process. But with this video, just so it won't take me as long, I may or may not cut them down. But I have, with my experience with this particular process, I've noticed that it lasts longer and it's more stronger when I have my nails shorter, and I can kind of feel the difference as they grow out. And that's kind of the same, I think, with each nail process. As your nail grows longer, of course, as you see how far the overlay has moved up, that kind of weakens the center of the nail because it's more top heavy. And as a disclaimer, y'all, I am not a professional. I just enjoy doing my nails when time permits. I did a polish video, or feature nail polish, in a previous unboxing video months ago. And I'll let you all know that I have just enjoyed doing my nails since I was probably about 2 or 3 years old. And really just, from what I can remember, probably as far back as maybe about when I really knew I liked polishing my nails, was probably like 5. So even though it was probably clear polish at the time, or you know, a little toy nail polish, but it's something I've always liked doing. To me, it's kind of relaxing. It does take patience, and of course with practice you will be able to do both hands. I can do this hand much faster, but of course, since I can do my nails, I do both hands. I would say when I do my right hand, I would probably have to do a little bit more cleaning up on that hand and shaping versus this hand here. And it probably won't take as long to get all of this off because the overlay has grown out so much. That it's not as much to drill off. Most of it is off. So just looking at y'all, I think I may keep my length this time, and the next time I'll cut them all the way down because I know that it's going to take me much longer to do. So I got most of it off. I would say it's about 98% fully off. I can still see some. And y'all, I got most, I would say probably all of these during the I don't know if we could say that word on YouTube, but when we were all in the house during that time a few years ago, and the nail shops and everything was closed, I pretty much got all new supplies and everything and decided to go ahead and start doing my nails at that time. So this is just a close-up. I hope it's focusing. But you can still kind of see some of it still on the nail. The overlay. Most of it is gone here. There's a little bit here. And you can see it there as well. So when I do the reshaping, this is my natural nail here. And then the overlay is that little tip there. The little section from here. Natural nail stops here, overlay is there, and that's because I found it the other day. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and file this and shape it. And to me, that gets the rest of, or most of the other of the overlay off without me getting too close to my my nail bed. I don't want to drill too much on my nails. And if you all can comment, let me know if anybody enjoys doing their nails as well. And I did not mention, this is a odor-free acrylic overlay. And I'm trying to remember what made me try this combination. I started this combination last year, I know. My schedule would not permit for me to go to the nail shop, and I kind of just got used to doing it after that. Especially after I saw how long they lasted. And it was kind of like a trial and error. And so when we get to the polishing part, I'll let you all know what the error was, because that is a very important step. And it affects how long it lasts, and also if there's any lifting or anything in the process. So here's where I do some of my shaping. To me, it's very important to get the sides of your nails, because that's the part that also grows out along with the part from your cuticle. But when I shape the sides, it kind of helps clean up any dead skin on the side around the cuticle, and it shapes the nail at the same time. So keeping the shape, I just made it a little bit more defined since it did grow out some, and I did not file it all the way down. I would usually take the nail drill if I wanted to shorten it, and I would go that way to shorten it all the way down as short as I wanted, and then have to completely reshape it. In this case, since we are not shortening the length of the nail, I just had to do a file down, and then I will go back around it with the nail drill, just on low this time, to go around my cuticle. And this does take practice, y'all. Practice and patience is what I would say, because depending on if you have this on too high, you can easily burn up your nail. It will burn, so I know. And I'm just going around the cuticle. So it does help to push them back, in addition to doing this as well. And this is on the lowest setting. Kind of helps clean up any dead skin, as well as push the cuticle back even more. So even with it low, you can still go back over the full nail. So this nail, y'all, is ready for the next step. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and pause it, do my other nails, and then come back for the next step. And this is just me being a little bit more thorough with it on low. getting as much of the overlay off as possible, so that way it'll be as bright as possible. It won't turn, you won't see a difference in the colors, like any light yellow color or anything under the new overlay. And I'm thinking about just cutting that off, but that would make me have to redo a full reshape. So I think it's fine how it is, and it is ready for the next step. So we'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so I got all of the overlay off of both of my nails, and I decided that I do want to go ahead and cut them down so that way I can go longer again without having to do my nails. So this is one way to cut your nails down, with just the nail clipper, still kind of keeping the shape, and go as short as you want. And then the other way is of course with the nail drill. So I'm going to show you how I do it that way. And I have it on the highest speed because I was taking the overlay off my other nail. So another way to shorten your nail quicker is not really going to preserve the shape as much. This takes a little bit longer, but it just really depends on your preference. So that's the way as well. And that ensures you get all of the overlay off of the tip. But I'm going to go ahead and just cut them with the clippers, and I will be right back. So this is what they look like before I shape them, and I'm going to cut the nails on this hand as well before, and then we're going to see the after. Alright y'all, so I have one nail fully complete, cut down, shaped, and ready for the next step. The other hand, I have to do the same there, so I will do that, and I will be right back. Alright y'all, so I am completely done with that step. Everything is cut and shaped and ready for the next step. And I did not mention these disposable mats, I guess is what they're called. I'll also pin these in my Amazon store as well, because they absolutely caught all of the dust and everything from the filing. So my next step is going to be to go ahead and just take some alcohol and go all over my nails. And I may just put it all over my hands, y'all, because I got dust everywhere. And I did want to use my other brush as well, just to be sure everything is completely off. And then just go ahead and go over with the alcohol. To me, this kind of helps get ready to put the primer on them as well. And you can use a paper towel, which is what I usually use, because that way I don't have to worry about any much lint left behind from the cotton ball. Y'all, so the next step is the primer, which I did share with you all. It's by Beetles Gel Polish Nail Primer. I've had pretty good luck, or should I say experience, with this particular primer. I noticed a difference when I started using it. I haven't had any lifting or anything like that, especially if I am pretty careful with my cuticles. So If you're looking for a good primer, y'all, this is a good one. So, and I will share the other product by this brand as well. Let me know if y'all have used any Beetles polish or D&D polish before. Both of them I've had pretty good experiences with. And this is not sponsored or anything like that. But I do put primer over my whole nail because I am doing a full overlay. And that is what it looks like. And that's going to dry. I'm still seeing little pieces of cotton. That's usually why I use the paper towel, but hopefully I get all of it off. But this primer has made a huge difference, and I noticed it lasts much longer. That was probably the longest that I've had my nails without refreshing them. Was that 2-month mark since I've been doing them like this. Usually within about maybe like a month, maybe a month and a week, I would have to redo them. But that time, I guess I was pretty careful around the cuticles and I didn't have any lifting or anything like that, so that worked out. Primer fully on, and I have my curing lamp right here. So y'all, I don't know if there's a name for this particular process or not. I know it kind of reminds me of the dip process, but I've never had a dip on my nails. And this is the base coat that I'm gonna put on. So for sake of time, I'm probably just gonna put this on one nail for you all and then pause it and do the others. And like I said, it does matter how close you get to the cuticle. Let me go ahead and put my hand down so I don't mess up. Because this is clear polish, so it's hard to see how close or how far you're getting from the cuticle, so I really have to focus. I don't want any bleeding in the cuticle because that can lead to lifting. So I'll do all of them and I'll be right back. I have both nails fully polished with the base gel and cured. So now I am going to the next step, which is going to be the top gel coat. And I used this up and I did not see the set on Amazon anymore. These two came together. So it said base gel and then top gel. And they have a different one on there now. So what I did instead, I bought a big bottle of Beetles glossy top coat. And I just filled this up with it. And I overfilled it, so I can't put the brush in here without everything coming out. So that's why the top is not on this one at the moment. But as I use it, it is going to drop down to where I can comfortably put the brush in there without it overflowing. All right, y'all, so this is a 2-part step. Well, 3-part. So we have the top coat, we have the acrylic powder, and I will probably do my thumb first. I think that one's a little bit easier to see. So again, polishing, putting another coat on this nail, not another, but the base coat was the first one, but I hope the brush did not dry out. It looks like it did. We're gonna try it and see. Okay, so top coat here. Again, this is the important part, not to get too close to the cuticle because that will cause lifting. it's working okay without it being fully. Let's see, a little bit of bubbles. Okay, so the top coat is on there all the way. And the next step is I'm just double checking the cuticle, making sure nothing bleeds over. And now I'm going to just put some acrylic powder on top of this. And then cure it. That's why I said it reminded me of the dip process, which I've seen done a couple times. And I kind of have to take my thumb in and out, or fingers in and out with the first coat, because the light will start to burn it. But it kind of reminds me of the dip process, but I think with that, I'm not sure what products are used with the dip process. So to me, I will call this process the odorless acrylic nail, because they are pretty firm and it does last a good amount of time. Okay, so I did that long enough to firm it up, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the next nail. And the reason I don't have to do a full cure on each nail is because I'm going to do each nail at a time. So each previous nail is going to get that additional time that it needs, if that makes sense. So with me curing that nail, say I cured it for 10 seconds. I'm going to put this nail in there and cure it 10 seconds. So while it's curing, the thumb is going to get another 10 seconds added to it. So you don't have to do the full 30 seconds or 60 seconds for every nail. Unless you do them all at one time. I do them separately just so the gel polish won't run or anything like that. So I have gotten comments to ask me what color polish I have on, and this should answer that question. I don't have a colored polish on. It is clear. It's just with this process, I believe it makes it look like there's a color, and it's really not. Oops, I hit the nail. Alright, on to the next one. Same process, so I will show you one more, and then I'm going to put a total of probably 3 coats. All together on all nails, and then move on to the next hand. So just showing this step one more time. Looks like I got a little too close to the cuticle. And you can put on thicker coats. To me, that helps with the firmness. Just be mindful of it and make sure that you cure that additional time if you do put on a thicker coat. Alright, y'all, so this is the full first coat. As you can see, it's still pretty clear now. I'm going to show how it looks with the second coat and then the third. So this is the second one. Oops. A little too much came off. Alright, so this is what 2 coats looks like, and this is what happens when you run over or a little heavy-handed with the top coat. It ran out and I did not see it in time before I cured it, but I can easily clean it up once I go over them and do shaping and clean up. But this is the 2nd coat, and then I'll come back and show you the 3rd coat. Okay, this is what 3 coats look like. I believe I am going to do a 4th coat. You can kind of see the thickness of the overlay. I hope that you can and that it's in focus. And as you see, it's not as clear as it was before, especially compared to not having an overlay on at all. It gets kind of cloudy, so it gives the appearance that I have on a nude polish, but I really don't. So 4th coat. Alright, y'all, so this is what it looks like at 3 coats. As you can see, I have some shaping to do, and just to compare it to no overlay at all, you can see the difference. It looks more cloudy, or as if I have a nude polish on. So we'll be right back and I will show what both look like. Alright, y'all, so both hands are done. I am going to clean them up and let you see them before I put on the final top coat. Alright, y'all, so I am almost done. I have fully shaped and cleaned up my nails. I am going to buff them, go over each one just to smooth them out first, and then I'm going to put my top coat on. So I'm going to do that. Just showing you one. And I'll be right back. Alright, fully buffed and ready to polish. I am going to take some alcohol and go over my hands with it a little bit more, and I'm actually going to brush it in with my nail brush. This is probably as close to a waterless manicure that I would call it. I wouldn't count the alcohol as water, but it's waterless. And to me, like I said, the alcohol helps prep the nails for the polish. So all of the dust is off from all of the filing and shaping. And let me put a little bit more. Oops. And do the same on this hand. And this time I am going to take a paper towel instead of a cotton swab to just go over the top of them. But just wanting to clean the bottom and the top of the nails. All right. I just have a piece of paper towel here. I am going over each one. The alcohol is gonna pretty much evaporate anyway, but I still like to make sure that it's all off. And we are ready to polish, y'all. I am gonna put another disposable mat down since I just wet up the surface, and put clear coat on, y'all. So this won't take too much longer. Like I said, we're almost done. Clear coat, and that's it. So you see the before, you see how cloudy they look, and then you will see how they look with the top coat. And then after the top coat, I'm going to put some oil on my hands and we will be done. So I'll do one nail first just so you can see the transformation from super cloudy and dull to glossy. And even though this is the top coat, I still want to be sure that I don't bleed into my cuticle. This kind of helps seal it off. The layers that I put on, the reason why I say a minimum of 3, I think when I first did my nails, I think I did 2 layers of the acrylic powder, and they were, I guess it just kind of depends on the strength that you want for your nail. If you want a pretty a stronger nail, a little bit more durable, then I would say 3 is the minimum. You can do as many as possible without it being too bulky, but keep in mind the more layers that you add, the more that you have to file down. And this isn't as hard as if you were to use the monomer that comes with the acrylic powder, but to me it's harder than using polygel. Polygel is a softer overlay to me versus this particular process. So it has been working for me. I've been using this method going on over a year, and I would say after the first month I figured out what I did wrong, and I figured out the right process and steps to use to get it to last longer. I'm gonna cure this and I'll be right back. Almost done, y'all. This is the first coat. I may put 2 on here, and I just bumped it with my nail. But this is what it looks like with 1 coat. I may do a second one. This one technically has 2 already. Clearly put too much on it, so I'm gonna try to hurry up and cure it before it keeps rolling down the side. Yeah, I put a bit much on there. I'll be right back. All right, y'all, I am completely done. As you see, a lot of time goes into prep time and shaping, but the whole process itself, like I said, it takes time and patience. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'm just applying cuticle oil now. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know if you'd like to see me do another video, or at least probably less steps. And if you'd like to see me do the process using color instead, let me know. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing, commenting, and sharing. I really do appreciate you all. This was a very fun beauty time, and it was absolutely past due. I did read y'all's comments about my nails hanging on for dear life, but they are refreshed now and my hands feel much better. So let me know what you all think. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. As always, have a very, very wonderful day.